release them again. You got to do 3 seconds before it's over.
Alright, it's that time again. Time for the dreaded oil change. This video is going to be about how to do it and what all you're going to need to do it with. First of all, I usually just buy the oil change kit. Yamaha puts this out. This particular kit's for 75 through 115. It's 20W40 oil. Now on the oil, Yamaha recommends, sorry for the poor quality of the print here, but the broadest temperature range of oil is the 1040. They don't make a 1040 kit. They make a 1030 and they make a 2040. Now I live down here in South Florida, and talking to most of the techs around here, they all use the 2040 kit. And there's the part number for it. Now if this was the 1030 kit, it would have a 10 here on the end. So being down here in the heat, everybody seems to run the thicker oil. If you're up north somewhere, you might want to run the number 10 kit. Now in the kit, you get, for my engine, you get 5 quarts of oil, you get the oil filter, and you get the drain plug gasket. It's a little metal ring. I also always keep an extra quart on hand in case I spill some, my motor uses some oil or whatever. I just keep some around. I don't like to mix and match brands and different oils, so keep that around. Oil filter wrench, not a big fan of this strap type. I like the kind that's more like a socket, fits over the back of the oil filter, but I don't have one for that size oil filter, so I gotta use my strap wrench. A torque wrench to tighten your drain plug back up. Just a regular ratchet to get out if you don't want to use your torque wrench for that. 14mm socket. The motor muffs. Now, I never recommend hooking the hose to the hose fitting on the top of the motor. I was at my dealer one day, and he had a bunch of burnt up water pumps laying on the counter where they just got so hot the stainless steel cup melted into the plastic housing. And I asked him about that. I said, man, what are all those from? How'd they get so hot they melted down? He says, from people running it on the hose fitting on the top of the motor, the flush port. He said you should never do that. In the past I hadn't really had a problem doing it, but he says that fitting's up top for the motor and all, and it never really pushes down correctly into your water pump, and if you run it for an extended period of time, you're going to melt that cup. So he recommended if you're going to run the motor, use the muffs. A couple rags would be good to have around. Any literature you want. Yamaha recommends changing oil every 100 hours, and the fuel filter, the oil filter, every 200. So engine oil every 100. Down here somewhere it's got the filter, and 200. Incidentally, the black dots, the solid black dots, are for Yamaha says you can do it yourself. The hollow ones are recommended that the dealer does it for you. Well, I don't know. My opinion is, with this kit here, I get the filter, and if you can pull the plug and drain the oil, why couldn't you change the filter? So, anyhow, now here's a product. I'm not endorsed by this guy in any way, shape, or form. Don't know him. I saw it on a forum one time. A few people recommended it, and it's made by this company called Seawell Innovations. It's a tilt and drain, oil drain kit. There's only 2 places I found to buy it, and that was West Marine, and none of the stores in my area stock it. It was a order only item. I had to order it and wait on it. And the other place I found it was on eBay. Now, this here user on eBay, J Bettendorf 2001, and his address, where it came from, when I went to this company's website, its address is the same as this. So apparently this guy's here is building it himself and selling it himself on eBay. The thing was almost 18 bucks. So, but you'll see how it works. It makes the process a lot cleaner. You could probably build this yourself if you knew what threads these were. You could probably get a fitting that screws in there and a barb and put your own hose on it and be good with it. I didn't know what size threads they were. 18 bucks. I just bought the stinking thing. Now I got it. A couple shop rags wouldn't hurt. Oil drain pan, and of course your beverage of choice. All right. First thing I'm going to do is warm up my motor, because warm oil drains out of a motor a whole lot better. So let's get the hose and fire this baby up. Now this is what happens when you run your outboard on the upper hose fitting versus running it on the muffs. You will melt down your housing and your impeller. So alright, what we're going to do now is remove the drain plug, put in the tilt and drain. We got our oil pan handy, so it'll drain in there. This is potentially the messiest part of this job. Now if you didn't have this tilt and drain, when you pull this plug out and tilt the motor back down, it would just run all over here. So I have a big pan underneath there if you don't have the tilt and drain, because that's how Yamaha says in the owner's manual to do it. Pull the plug, tilt it down. But it's not, if you just pull this plug out with this motor tilted up, it is not supposed to run out of here. So just like so. Pull the hose off the tilt and drain fitting. Screw it in there, attach your hose, guide your hose down in your pan, and tilt your motor back down. Until it's level. We'll get a shot of that oil draining into the pan. There we are. And just let it all run out. It's recommended if fluids are running out, air's got to get in, take off your filler cap. So now my oak tree's shedding leaves at an alarming rate. It's fall, so I don't want to just leave that exposed. The oak tree's right up here behind me. Last thing I need is an oak leaf blowing into that hole. So let it drain. Okay, while that oil's draining, I'm going to change the oil filter. Yamaha factory filters come with a cellophane on it, and they got some kind of petroleum jelly on the seal. If it's dry or whatever, put some motor oil on it, lube it up a little bit. So I have that there. I take a rag and put it under the old oil filter. Catch any oil that runs down. Then remove the old oil filter. Yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of oil running down. Check the mating surface where the seal goes. Make sure that's not starting to corrode up from the salt water. Now there's a torque spec on this oil filter. I don't remember what it is, but I don't have the socket fitting that goes over the filter to properly torque it anyway. So I pretty much tighten it down pretty darn good with my hand. You don't really want to use this strap on it to tighten it up. Those oil filters on these Yamahas, it's very thin. You start cranking down on it with this, you crush the filter with them. Where's the one? Here's the one I just took off, and you can see I smushed it. And you don't want to do that to a filter you're going to run. There we go. Now in the kit is this here little metal ring. So it goes on this oil drain plug. So we're going to want to remove the old one. We're going to want to clean this up, wipe it off with a rag, and then put the new one on. So that's ready to go back in. Alright, at this point in the juncture of our program here, we're going to take out the tilt and pour and put the drain plug back in. Now to keep oil from running out of this thing in my garage forever, simply push it back together, and then it'll keep the inside clean and keep everything clean. Grab the plug with our new drain plug seal on it. Should go in very easily if you got the threads lined up right. You don't want to be cross-threading this thing. I'm sure it wouldn't be cheap. Now the torque specs on this bolt is 20.7 foot-pounds. That's pretty much where my foot-pound torque wrench starts, is at 20. I don't like running it right at the limits. I don't think it's very accurate there. I don't have the best one in the world. So I'm using my inch-pound torque wrench. So 248 inch-pounds is 20.7 foot-pounds. You put that in and torque it to that. So that's all there is to that. Another thing left to do is refill the oil. This is a 2003 115. According to the book, it holds 5 quarts of oil when you do the filter with it. So the kit comes with 5 quarts. So I'm going to dump 5 quarts in. I forgot to mention, it helps to have a oil a funnel to do this project. I didn't include that in my parts list, my tools list. I recycle these oil jugs, these little bottles of oil here. Recycle the plastic. Dispose your oil properly. Remember, we're running boats because we like the water. Oil is not good for the water out there. It really messes things up. My local Advanced Auto Parts takes used oil for free. You just walk in with the jugs and they dump it in the tank in the back. So that's what I do with my oil. I'm going to dump the rest of these in, and then we'll check the level and fire her up. Alrighty, I'm dumping the last of my oil in. Then what we're going to do is put this filler cap back on. I just hooked up the hose to her, and we're going to fire her back up. Pretty much all Yamaha engines, all the 4-strokes that I'm aware of, same process. No matter it's 15 all the way up to the big stuff, they're all very similar. So the storm clouds are starting to move in. I got to wrap this project up. This oil change was part of my 100-hour service. Another thing you need to do is your gear lube. I'm going to shoot a video of that, and I'll include a link somewhere here. We've changed it all. We've tightened everything up. We refilled it with oil. I ran it for about 5 minutes to warm the oil up, and then let it sit for a couple minutes, let all the oil settle back down in the reservoir down here where it rides. While it was running, I was checking everywhere for leaks, anywhere I touched, and then just all over the motor while it's running with the cover off. Check it out, do a visual inspection. You need to check your oil now. Pull your dipstick out, wipe it off, stick it all the way back in, and then look at it. As you can see, nice clean oil, about a 1/4 inch from the top. So that's pretty much the whole process right there. Hopefully I if you didn't know, I taught you something, gave you a little bit of confidence so you can do it yourself, a little pride of ownership, pride of doing your own maintenance, save you a little money. The cost of doing all this, that oil change kit with the filter and all in it, those run anywhere from about $65 to about $80, $85. Other than that, oh yeah, I covered the cost of the tilt and pour. That thing was about 18 bucks. I bought that to help make it a little cleaner process. So, again, appreciate it if you'd like, share, thumbs up it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll try to bring you more of this stuff. Good luck fishing out there. Be safe on the water. Have a good one.